All right, y'all, it's happening. I'm back. This is Rev Bruce. I'm here with Coffee and Chat, doing it once again. We're on the relaunch. And today we're starting out with a bang. Got a good friend of mine, a local artist here in San Diego, Sharif Booker. He's coming on. And we're going to be talking about art and how to use art as a coping strategy, a coping mechanism. Don't know what you might be going through, don't know what you might be dealing with, but this one right here, this one might be something that you want to tune in for and get going. And so I'm going to bring Sharif up right now, and here we go. What's going on, Sharif? How you feeling?
I feel good. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm good. I'm good. Got my coffee all set up for this rainy Saturday, but
I feel real good, man.
I can roll with it. Look here, man.
That's okay. Get started, man. It's all good.
With what, and talk about art, what led you to start painting and sketching?
Well, first, my second grade. No, it was my kindergarten teacher who got through a picture of a fire truck, and my mom was like, "Wow, that's really cool." My kindergarten teacher was like, "Wow." I looked over and I went to my second grade teacher. She pointed out that I had some kind of artistic talent. I drew a snake and it had all the squirrely lines in it. I'm like, wow, and so I thought it was cool and she thought it was cool. So, the School of the Arts is right down the street from my house. So what they did was they after hearing that, they enrolled me into School of Creative and Performing. And so it started right then. I knew then and there I was gonna be destined for something.
Okay. So that somebody recognized something in what you did. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, someone recognized that I had the talent. So I was like sort of kind of put in the position for me to go to a School of the Arts or either engage in different art form or anything like that. So, art, I always think that an artist is not only someone who does artwork like visual. There's a lot of them. There's sculpture, cinema, literature, journals, drama, poetry, prose,
All types
music,
of art.
and architecture.
Yeah.
Yeah, all types of art where you can dibble and dabble. You might not be good in one, and so my next uh my next feat is 3D sculpture. I want to go into sculpture because I think I'll be hands just molding stuff and trying to fix stuff and move stuff around. So that's my next thing I want to get into.
Okay. So let me ask you this. How do you see
Yeah.
artwork as a means for coping with issues like stress and depression?
Mhm.
When people are in those dark places, whether they have mental
So
illness or not.
okay.
You still there?
Yeah. For I'm still here. It's just, the sound is coming up and out, but I'm still hearing you. Let me see. For mental illness, one thing about it is it without a foundation of the Lord Jesus Christ in your life, it is really a roller coaster ride.
Mm.
So what I use artwork for is to balance my life. It's sometimes, you know, I'll just be honest. I had a drug addiction.
Mm.
So in my addiction, you have to have a balance between your substitute that you put there. That's what you have to put there. You have to learn who God is first, and then in that you can use that as an anchor for your stability and your stabilization. Times when it's tough on you, when you hear voices or just stress, through it, everyday stress or stuff like that, you sometimes you sometimes just get a case of the no goods, you don't feel like doing nothing, don't feel like waking up, don't feel like doing nothing.
Mm.
But I use art vent to vent that out, to vent it out. In art, there's different types of artwork for the times when you're going through something. Sometimes there's a whole bunch of art genres in the world, but I'll just say three: Baroque period, expressionism, and impressionism.
Hmm.
See, impressionism was a time when it was just think of a camera, just a split second picture of that moment in time, just that one moment in time, just a click, and so they would do different types of artwork that corresponded with different types of the day, like 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock,
Hmm.
and they would paint their pictures in genres and different types of ways of doing it that way. Then there was expressionism. Expressionism was a way mostly subjective. It was subjective perspective, radically in order to evoke moods or ideas. Sometimes you want to say way, but look at this and you'll feel the same way I feel, or it's just wild how but Baroque period had one source of light, you can totally recognize what a Baroque period is. I think it was 1700s, 1750. But what happened was that one focal point of light, everything else is dark. Rembrandt was one of the artists of that.
Yeah.
For expressionism, Van Gogh was the father of expressionism. Impressionism is Manet and Monet. Uh, but
Yeah.
they said
Monet.
that for paintings, yeah, 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 for Rembrandt's paintings, Monet's good too. Uh, they were an inch thick. He would just pile it on. So yeah. But I use it as a vent. Sometimes you can use expressionism, show people how you feel in that moment. You see some of my artwork. One of my artwork has two question points, and they're like interlocked. You might see that, but I was going through something at the time. I was like, man, I can't deal with. Sometimes art is a way for me to vent it all out. It's a way for me to coping skills. You have to have coping skills, which you're gonna deal with life every day, no matter what, no matter who you are, no matter what walk of life you come from. There's always gonna be some kind of obstacle. But when you get knocked down, and you keep walking, you keep going.
Yeah. And
You
so,
don't stay in the mud.
yeah. So for you,
Yes,
do me a favor and finish this sentence for me. Art is. Art is. For you, art is. Art is
yes.
what?
Art is. Oh man, art is art is love. Art is limitless. Art art is a change of heart It's sincere. Art is work and play combined. Is thinking bigger,
Mm.
thinking bigger. My art teacher always told me that when I was in high school. She said, "Think bigger, Reef. Think bigger." Sometimes you only get confused on in the local, but you think bigger and you think this confusion is so organized after that. But yeah, it's just wild. But art is it's wonderful. It's event. It's positivity.
And
It's
so,
a timestamp.
with that timestamp, right?
Yes, a
As you
timestamp.
look at your own
It
artwork,
tells you like impressionism, like a photo. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
you look
yeah.
at your
That's
own
me.
artwork and you see yourself, even with this self portrait, right? You see yourself over time, different places you were at different time periods,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
what you were going through and what you were dealing with. I mean, like you really
Right,
captured
right, right.
this whole idea of not just Jordan, but then you also captured this whole thing with, downtown San Diego, and the imagery of it. And so, as you see these,
Yeah.
you know, does the art help you relive it or recapture that moment?
You know, sometimes I look back at this art, some of the artwork I did, and I was so far in my addiction that I don't remember drawing
Mm.
it. But I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I did because it is a timestamp of what I was going through at that time. And I thank God that I'm one of the many that made it out of addiction. I have 8 years sober and clean now.
Amen.
8 years. And I don't think I'll go back after what I know. I don't think I'm going back to anything like that ever again. So I know that artwork is a timestamp. It tells you like what goes on at that time, what I was feeling. Sometimes it's just an expression of what you can do in order for you to cope with the things that you're going through at the time. At that time, it could be a bird. It could be, that's another thing too. I thought to myself before making this whole presentation is artwork will topics will run out of artwork before artwork runs out of topics.
Mm.
There's always something to paint, always something to draw, always something to sketch or make a movie about, music about. There's artists in music to really good that bring you places, take you places in your mind, you know, that calm you down when everything is stressed. Now, sometimes you put on your favorite groove and you're like, man, I feel good. Nothing can stop me. So yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah. So I learned to trust God, trust God's process because like it says in his word that his ways are not our ways. So sometimes in knowing that you have to know that sometimes it takes time, change, change. You got to be change. And being me with the mental illness, change is the main thing that always happens. It's
yeah.
always happening.
Everything must
Change.
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 So let
Yeah,
me
it must change. Everything. This crazy world we live in must change.
so let me drop this in here, man. Who would you say is the artist that most influenced your work?
Um, God,
Mm.
because God breathed life into us, and made us from clay. I thought that was awesome. Every day He looks at what we're doing. Like every day, I think God is up there like taking notes. Like, what's He gonna do today? Is He calling on me? Is He respecting
Mm.
me? I remember you told me this one time, Bruce. You said a lot of people, they recognize Him, but they don't acknowledge
Mm-hmm.
Him, and that stuck with me, man. And so artist I like was
Okay.
Picasso. Picasso was a really good one. Salvador Dali. If you don't know these names,
Oh yeah, I
look
know.
them
I
up.
know what you're talking
The
about.
artwork is Salvador Dali. Who
Now you don't
else?
want to get a mustache like Dolly, do you? You want to get
There's a lot. There's a lot of artists. Nah, and I could cut off my ear. He loved the girl so much that he cut off his ear and sent it
yeah, you
to
know.
her.
So put this
Ooh,
in perspective
I'm
for
an
me,
artist,
man.
but I ain't that bold, man.
Yeah, put this in perspective for me, man. I really want to get your idea on it. You know, people talk about art therapy and utilizing art to get folks coming back from the war and dealing with trauma and PTSD to
Right. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
draw it out, just paint it out, and put it on the canvas, put it on the sketch pad,
Right. Right.
and pour it out.
Right.
But for you as an artist, other than the mental
Mhm.
process of visualizing and putting it together, what emotion is evoked for you as you create the art?
Well, first off, you have to have some type of catalyst that causes you to do it. It could be pain, it could be inspiration, it could be love, it could be hate, it could be all kinds of things that go on that you say to yourself, it causes you to question reality. Your circumstances in life cause you to question reality. Sometimes you want to document that. You
Mm.
say, what can I just some smallest thing. You could be at a coffee shop somewhere and you could be drawn on the napkin, and one drawing from the napkin could lead to a art piece from napkin to canvas to wall to who knows what, think bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed that sometimes, there's a lot of times when answers come and they're too much for you.
Mm.
That's the time when you have to draw and paint and sketch and think, and because you have to renew your mind. Renew your mind. Sometimes the world comes at you, and I didn't know that growing up. I was younger. I didn't know that growing up how the world would come at you, and they test to see what they can get away
Mm.
with. You know, certain things in life you must first acknowledge, work it out. Let them work it out for you, and then when you're in that love of you and keeping you safe, then I can draw. Sometimes it's the smallest things, shake from someone you don't know who helped you out,
Mm-hmm.
or a bird, or uh, it could be but sometimes that inspiration transforms you from stagnation in who or where you were at that time to develop change into what you want the world to be like, what you want it to predisposed, or even, sometimes you have to draw what you hate.
Mm.
It's not always bells and whistles and chirps and berries. It's always going to be something, and you have to question it, like something's not adding up. you know and in that, you learn how to be the change that you want to see in this world. I do that through artwork, shaking someone's hand, being nice. Is in a smile. A smile. Sometimes just smiling at can make the world go round. Just change someone's whole perspective of the day. Just now, I want people out there, if you just smile at someone, just smile. I tell my sister that all the time. Just smile, just smile.
Mm.
Everything will be work out. Everything's going.
So what you're saying, man, is
But I learned.
good. What you're saying is inspiring, and I wanna hold on to that and kind of shift into if you could deal with art and coping, how is art and its role in mental illness and therapy and recovery? What's art's role? What's art's role? Is it an essential or is it just an option?
Art.
What do you think?
It's it's how to be perceived.
Mm.
There's true perception. Sometimes it's how you want to be perceived at that moment. In mental illness, there's always something that is crazy, or something you have to sidestep, or just move out the way. So I use artwork to help me out when I think of a bad situation or a bad ideal or mood or idea or something like that. I try to paint something to put as a substitute for that said thing that went wrong, or bad idea.
Mm.
Sometimes you have to put something there so people see that instead of seeing hatred or war, or just stuff that just brings you down. There's always a way out.
Mm.
There's always a way out. The Lord never put more on you than you can bear. There's always a way of an escape.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's
It,
what art is to many people, is that it's a way of escaping. It's escapism on a whole nother level. On a whole nother level. Because one, it brings to the person that's viewing or listening to it, it brings them out of where they were,
mm-hmm.
out of where that situation they were in at that time. And for the artist, it gives them satisfaction that they're able to conjure up those feelings and emotions from that person or person change. You know, it's just wild, man, because I learned in sometimes in my addiction. This guy said one thing that stuck with me. He said, people that judge don't matter that judge. So knowing that, just take everything with a grain of salt. If you have a mental illness, or mental illness, look out for them. Call them up. See how they're doing. Maybe they're the immediate place of talking to you is peaceful. That's what peace. Sometimes there's too many arguments or just the slightest thing can just trigger off whoa, whoa. But sometimes it's good to know you have to have a support system.
Mm.
That's the main thing. In mental illness, artwork is one thing, but you need a support system. I thank God for my support system. My brothers, my sister, my mom, my dad. My mom, she holds all my artwork.
Mm.
She won't let it go. She won't let it go. So if I have to ask for there to get the artwork signed or whatever. So sometimes it's hard to get pictures, just to get pictures of stuff out of my mom's house is a trip. But it's fun. It's fun. I love her for that. I love her for that. Because in my addiction, I would have sold it,
Yeah, that's all right. She
or
got you
worse,
covered.
gave
Yeah,
it away.
she got you
So
covered.
I'm glad. I thank God for my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, she got me covered. Yeah.
you laid on something that was real heavy right there when you said um, in dealing with something a feeling you might have, and sometimes you got to paint what you hate or paint what's chasing you down or
Right.
haunting you. You know what I mean? To
You
get it
do.
out,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that's a powerful thing when you can you know lay hands on. I can't I can't fight the thing that is haunting me in the midst of my depression or whatever I'm going through, but
Mhm,
I
mhm,
can
mhm,
express it through art, whether it be a
mhm.
song, a poem, or you know, in your case, a painting or a sketch. You can actually get it on,
Yeah.
paper and express it. And so, um, that idea of,
Absolutely.
hey, you might have to literally work
Hmm.
out,
Hmm.
use the art to work out what you're dealing with, so others
Work it out.
can
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
not only see
Absolutely.
it, but also recognize that you are trying to deal with it, you know, and so I want to I want to kind of bring it to a close, but as I bring it to a close, I want to
Hmm.
I want to ask you about for someone who's dealing with mental illness and life's pressure, whether it be PTSD, trauma, from
Hmm. Hmm.
domestic violence or
Hmm. Hmm.
childhood trauma
Hmm.
or anything that's going on, just drama in life,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
The life's
Hmm.
pressures.
Hmm.
What would you say to encourage them or inspire them in your own words today?
Inspire them. Okay. Uh, the first thing is they have to look for inspiration within themselves, you know, and that can only come if God puts it there for them, So God is first. God is first. You have to put the Lord Jesus, the Holy Spirit. You have to put them, th- Him first, and then everything else. They say, and all these things shall be added unto you. Everything else just falls into place. You know, and I don't know what it's like to have PTSD. I can only imagine what people go through in that whole debacle. Um, but mental illness sometimes, to be an inspiration to someone else, you have to find the inspiration within yourself. What drives you, what keeps you up at night, what makes you who you are, and share that with the world. share that with people you meet on a daily day basis. You know, sometimes just saying hello or smiling, like I said, smiling, a compliment, a compliment uh, goes a long way. Goes a long way. Uh, Seeking a peaceful ending to circumstances that we all go through, because that's when both the hearer, the viewer, and the person speaking is at peace, and there's peace in between. So there's peace in between both the viewer and the artist, you know. And on that foundation, that can be inspirational. It's the little things as far as mental illness goes. It's the little things that make the world go round. You know, for me, it's coffee. I drink coffee all the time.
You know,
Just coffee, coffee. I love the taste. I love the taste of coffee. Sometimes a little bit of cream and you can call it a day. Hang it up, you know. But sometimes you got to find, as if you're someone with a mental illness, you have to find what makes you you, you know. And I learned my purpose in life. My purpose in life is to make things better for someone else. Make things better.
mm,
You know, smile. Make sure everything is going good. You know, be on the up and up. You know, try not to be downtrodden or you know. Sometimes it's like I said, it's the little things. It's the little things that make the world go round. You know, and speak peace. Speak peace. You know, be at peace with not only with others but with yourself. You know, that helps out a lot as far as mental illness goes. Mhm.
but man, that laid out a open road for somebody right
But
there,
I learned,
man. So you know, I truly,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
truly
I hope
appreciate it,
I
man.
helped. I hope I helped.
You know, I would say,
God
um,
bless you.
if there's nothing else I can say, I would definitely uh, show my appreciation and say thank you, for your openness and your candor. Um, God bless you on your
Oh,
victory of sobriety. You know, man, you know it's a
yeah.
journey day to day, and so continue with that. You're already inspiring somebody just with that.
I got to get back what the devil stole from me.
Hey, you know, and claim as much as you can. You know
Get
what
it
I'm
all
saying?
back.
I have to. I'm glad there's some name tags on here because they would have
Hmm.
thought that you was the
Yes,
preacher
sir.
and something else because the you were laying it out there and putting it down, particularly on the idea of God first. And
Hmm.
seeking Him out. And yeah, seek the kingdom and all
Yes,
these
sir.
other things, all the
Yes,
other
sir.
stuff you was worried about, all the other stuff you were anxious about, it'll be added unto you. It'll be a non-factor, but you gotta have that focus and that purpose.
It'll
And so,
manifest itself.
God bless you, man. I truly appreciate this, and how you're able to share your work with the world. Now, in the future, I understand you're working on some stuff with Redbubble and Etsy and stuff. So in the future, definitely share that with me so I can put it on the YouTube description and the podcast show notes so that folks will know where to go and how to support you as an artist and really um, get a hold of your work. I know you're doing some logos and some other stuff, and so
Yeah.
uh,
I'm working on that. I'm working on
yeah.
that.
So if you're out there and you
Yes,
want
sir.
to commission something,
So I got.
my brother,
Mhm.
hit me up. I'll get you in touch with him. But definitely, um, Sharif, this is
Yeah, because Bruce, you know, I stay away from social media. So if you want to get in touch with me, I stay close to my family. I stay close to people that, because I sometimes if you want to get in touch with me, just get in touch with somebody in my family, my mom, my sisters. They know.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, I can link
as far as
somebody up.
artwork goes, I'll have something on Redbubble
Yeah.
real soon.
Yeah. So definitely once
Real soon.
you got it out there
Redbubble
on
and Etsy.
Redbubble and Etsy and everything, definitely we will reshare some of the stuff. But man, keep at it, keep doing what you're doing, man, and stay on the straight and narrow with everything. And like I said, keep smiling.
Sure thing.
Keep smiling. All
Sure
right.
thing.
Hey y'all, listen, this is Coffee and
Sure
Chat
thing.
with Rev Bruce. Sharif's this is our first guest, kicking it back in. And next week I've got Shauna Cook coming out with her Brown Girl Bible study. We're gonna find out about her and all that. But hey, have a great day. God bless. Godspeed.